Hi, my name's Molly and welcome to my bookish corner of the internet. Hello! Today I thought I would do a quite old tag. I think it's the makeup and books tag, so for every step of your makeup there is a question about a book to answer. It's very easy to get but weirdly difficult to explain, so I'm sure you'll understand more than my few brain cells can explain to you. Disclaimer, I suck at makeup. I can do like one thing and that's about it, but I'm about to film like a different video and I thought that I might as well get a video out of getting ready to film a video. A lot of my makeup is very cheap, very old, not very good, but it's all I can afford because I'm a poor student. Okay, first of all, let's get rid of this fringe. I'm about to look so good. You are about to be so jealous of how good I look. Gonna look like a little garlic. Don't look good in this, by the way. If you came here to look at someone who looks nice, you are in the wrong place. People who look good while doing their makeup are lies. So, the first step is primer. I don't wear skin products particularly. I occasionally wear concealer, but I've currently lost my concealer, so I don't quite know where that's gone, which is very upsetting, so I liked that concealer. But for the sake of this video, I will put on some moisturiser. It's kind of the best I can do. So I just use this really cheap moisturiser that I found in Lidl. I use a tiny bit of this kind of like all over my face, as normal people do. My boyfriend seems to think that this product smells like nappy cream or like clean nappies. I personally think it just smells like sun cream. And the actual nice thing I use every night is this night cream. It's a Firm and Lift Night Cream Anti-Wrinkle Cream by Olay. I just use it because it smells nice and I found it for £4 and I know it's an expensive brand, so I bought it. I mainly put this like under my eyes and like where I would get crow's feet when I'm older. Who knows if it does anything. It feels nice and it smells really good, so I'll kind of just go with it. Pick a book that left a lasting impression on you. The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. That book, oh my god, that book stayed with me for years. It makes me sob every time I read it. I think it's told in such a unique way. I finished it crying, obviously, because who doesn't finish that book and cry? And then it made so many people I know read it because they needed to. I need everyone to read that book. Also, just gonna put some lip balm on. This is just something I got given a couple of years ago. It's tinted, so sometimes when I'm having like a no makeup day or a very light makeup day, I just shove this on in like lieu of a lipstick because it's an okay colour. But I've lost my Vaseline because I lose everything in my life. So I'm just using this because I bite my lips really badly in my sleep. So we're gonna put that on in an attempt to help save them. So the second step I'm not gonna do is foundation. I don't wear foundation. I don't have any foundation. I don't think I've ever worn foundation, or ever have. I've worn it like once or twice in my entire life and I don't really remember it. I just don't like the feeling of everything on my skin. The question for this step is favourite first book in a series. Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue, because I love it. It has a gay romance, it's hilarious, it's really unique, and it's got like some historical stuff in that I really like, but it's not like a typical historical fiction, which isn't always my cup of tea, and it's just great. And it's got pirates in at the end. Okay, so the third step is concealer, which I would put on had I not lost my concealer. I have like this really cheap, very old eyeshadow palette by Collection, and sometimes I'm feeling very lazy and my bags are horrific, as they are quite now. I sometimes just kind of shove my beauty blender, makeup sponge, whatever, in this like vaguely nude coloured eyeshadow and just kind of put it down here. The question for this one is pick some characters you wish didn't exist. I'm really stumped on this, which is weird because I hate a lot of characters and a lot of books, but for some reason they all escape my mind right now. I don't know if they mean like wish they didn't exist because they're horrible, like Umbridge and Harry Potter, but are completely necessary, like, and important for other characters' character development or like the book plot. I really hate Mila probably Mila, from The Girl with the Wind-Up Heart, which is part of the Steampunk Chronicles by K.D. Cross. She got introduced too late for me to care about her, so she kind of just took up space where characters I wanted to be narrating should have been. Like, she was talking and I was like, I don't give a shit, like, go back to the characters I care about, like, I don't care about this storyline. And like, I found her really irritating, and when she put like my fave characters in danger, I would just get really irritated at her. I read that book a really long time ago, so I don't really remember. The next step is Powder, which I don't really need to do because I don't have anything to set, but I can very tokenistically do it for you. I would normally use this to obviously set my concealer, and I'm also running out of this. But again, I've lost my concealer and I don't have money to buy a new one, and I can't really afford any more powder either, so we'll just put on like a tiny bit to put this other powder in place, which makes no sense, but hey, we'll do it anyway. The question to go with this step is pick your favourite last book in a series. My favourite last book in a series is Dreams of Gods and Monsters by Laini Taylor. It's the conclusion to the Daughter of Smoke and Bone trilogy. I think it's like quite a big book, it's like 600 or 700 pages, and I think I read it in a day. I absolutely loved it, and I read the whole series in like a week because I joined the hype train of that one really late, but oh my god, worth it. And I remember just loving that last book. I don't massively remember it now, but I remember loving it, so I'm gonna go with that one. Okay, now on to things that you'll actually be able to see are notably different. Woo! For this we need my brush pot. I have some really cool brushes. They are brushes like made to look like Harry Potter ones. I feel like this is Hermione's wand and I don't know why they're like that. Then obviously the Elder wand, and then I think this might be Voldemort's wand, but I'm not sure. And then I know one of these is Harry Potter's wand, and probably one's Draco's wand, or Ron's. I don't know. My brushes actually need a wash, so don't look at them too closely. The next step is eyebrows. I'm just going to take this really cheap palette I have again, and a like thin eyebrow like angled brush, and I'm going to use the only eyeshadow that's actually used in here, which is this brown one here, to do my eyebrows even. The question that goes with this one is pick a book that you think everyone should read. The Daughter of a Pirate King, because I lent that to someone recently and they really enjoyed it, and it reminded me quite how much I love it and how desperate I am to read the sequel, because like it was one of those where I finished the book and I wanted to read the sequel immediately, but I couldn't. The Daughter of a Pirate King is by Tricia Levenseller? I don't know. As we know, I can't pronounce names. And the other one is Eliza and Her Monsters by Francesca Zappia. I read that a couple of years ago now, actually, but I remember just absolutely loving it, and it's so brilliant, and I haven't read it since I originally read it, and I would really like to reread it. I want to read other Francesca Zappias if I can, because I just loved the way that book was told, and you know, it's about fandom culture, but it's so dark and interesting, and it's got some really interesting like views on mental health and even fandom culture, and I think anyone into like books and the community around books or comics should read that book. I think it's definitely worth a read. I just kind of brush through them and help them a little bit, but they tend to look a bit until I put any eyeshadow on. I'm gonna shove some brow gel through them. I'm running out of this so badly, and again, really can't justify buying any more at this current time, so here we are. Next step is eyeshadow, which is one of my favourite parts ever. I love eyeshadow, and I only really have one makeup palette, one eyeshadow palette even, and that is Fortune Favours the Brave by Makeup Revolution. Not that this is a makeup tutorial, this is not a makeup tutorial. I can't do makeup very well at all, and I just kind of bodge it. The question that goes with this one is pick a book with your favourite colours on the cover. That is so easy for me. A Darker Shade of Magic and the entire trilogy, really. They all... So my favourite colours are black, if you count black as a colour, red, and white. Well, not white, but that kind of like aesthetic. So those books fit me really well. The other book, like my other favourite colour is a very specific shade of green. It's kind of like a olivey khaki kind of green, and so another cover that I can think of right now is the original Neverwhere cover that I read. So that was like a green kind of colour. There's a mouse on the cover, I think. So that's Neverwhere by Neil Gaiman and the Dark Shade of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. The next up is eyeliner. I very rarely wear eyeliner anymore. I am a recovering emo. I know, shocking. Can't tell or anything, can you? So I used to wear quite a lot of eyeliner for quite a long time, but I don't really wear any anymore, and I don't even think I've got any here. Sometimes I'll take like one of these flat like square brushes and take like a really dark brown, so like this one over here, and then like a matte black. I'll like mix it between these two, and just put that like right near my lashes just to make them look like a bit fuller. Emo in recovery over here. I'll put pictures here, here, here. But I never did the big bird's nest like scene hair, so that's something at least. The question for this one is pick a dark and mysterious book. I don't read a lot of like, I guess I read some dark fantasy, but I don't really read like scary books or like mysteries very often. But a book that probably shouldn't have scared me but did was The Hazelwood. I read it this time last year because I know I read it around Halloween, and that's by Melissa Albert, I think. I'm just getting some of this purple stuff that I put like under my eye. I'm just putting that like in the outer V, is that what that's called? And that like genuinely frightened me a little bit, which I know it shouldn't have, but I remember having to walk somewhere in the dark like after spending a day reading it, and I remember being really like, oh my god, I don't like this at all. So yeah, that, I think it's like really atmospheric, that book, and I think that's the major kind of pull of it. Like, it's so well written and you do feel really drawn in, but it did creep me out. So the next step is, according to this, mascara. So I'm just going to use an eyelash curler. Question that is for this step is pick a long book. The longest book that currently springs to mind, not only is it actually physically long, but it feels quite long, is Harry Potter and the Order of the Phoenix. It's my least favourite Harry Potter, although I like it more and more as I get older, so maybe one day it'll be one of my favourites. I love Angsty Harry, unpopular opinion. I love Angsty Harry, but that book does not need to be that long. Like, I love all the Dumbledore's Army stuff, and the bit at the end obviously is massively, massively important, but it is unnecessary. I'm just using this really cheap mascara that I bought recently. It's by W7. It was a couple of quid, and it's called Absolute Lashes. Oh, and the other thing I hated about Order of the Phoenix was, obviously I know it's completely necessary, but obviously I hate Umbridge, because who doesn't hate Umbridge? If you don't hate Umbridge more than Voldemort, you probably didn't read the series. But I also hated like the way Dumbledore acted in that book when I first read it, and I remember that making it feel like a bit of a slog. Like, I remember the first time I read The Order of the Phoenix, I really felt like it was difficult to get through, but I was much younger, and obviously I have read it many times since, and it's obviously much easier now, probably because I'm older and I have read it before, and it's, you know, so familiar to me because I've read the whole series so many times. But I know on my first couple of rereads I kind of dreaded getting to Order of the Phoenix, but it doesn't bother me so much anymore, maybe because I've read like much more complicated books since then, and again because I know the series a while, and I've read much longer books since I originally read that as well. Whereas at the time that was probably like the longest book I'd ever read. Next thing to do is blush. I don't own any blush. It's not something I typically wear. Very, very occasionally I will use like a pinky eyeshadow, which I know you're not supposed to do, but again, I can't afford blush. So for this, it's a book with a cringe-worthy romance. And I don't know if that meant like, because I get like really secondhand embarrassment really easily anyway. But I don't know if that meant like romance you didn't like or romance that made you go, oh, but oh, which a lot of books make me do, because I'm like, that's really sweet, but also like, oh. I Stay, Mia and Adam. I read that book a couple of years ago because my friend read it and absolutely hated it, and she was like, you have to read this so that we can hate it together. And I do. I truly, truly despise that book, and I've decided Gayle Forman is just not the author for me, because I also read I Was Here, and it's one of my most hated books of all time, and I completely and utterly loathed it. So I've just decided that I'm never going to read another Gayle Forman. So Mia and Adam were completely awful, completely like made me cringe so bad. This blush application is probably making you cringe so bad, but they made me cringe so bad. Their horrible sex scene. It went on for 5 pages, and she plays him like a cello and he plays her like a guitar, and I don't want to think too deeply into what that means because I was so utterly disturbed. The next one is most people's favourite step in makeup. That is highlighter. I just use this really cheap highlighter that I bought off Amazon. Pick a book that brightens your day. Unconventional and Theatrical by Maggie Harcourt. Hang on, they're up here somewhere. Harcourt. They're just really cute, and I read them during the autumn time, so for some reason to me they read as like quite autumny contemporaries, which is silly really, because they're probably not at all, but because I originally read them in the autumn, they just make me think of autumn. Those books bring me great joy. They make me very happy. I really enjoy Theatrical, and Theatrical's the one that like really reminds me of autumn. They take me a while to get through, I think, from what I remember, because I always take a while to get into them. But once I'm into them, I do really enjoy them. Okay, so the final step is lipstick. I am a lipstick fiend. I hoard lipstick, but when I moved to uni, it has miraculously disappeared. And I also don't have any natural colours with me, which is very annoying. So I got this bright purple one, which I am not feeling today. This kind of like burgundy colour, which I quite like, or just straight black. The video I'm filming after this is a spookathon video. So, should we go with black? Should we do that? Should we commit to it? I'm going to talk to you once I've applied this, because applying lipstick and talking at the same time sounds like a bad idea. The question for this one is your favourite book kiss. This one for me is so difficult to answer because it's just whatever like book series I'm invested in at the time. So I'm going to give you a couple. The first one that immediately I think of is the Percy and Annabelle. Oh, by the way, spoilers for any of these books I talk about, because the kisses probably happen like later in the series. So first one's for the Percy Jackson series, the first Percy Jackson series. So Percy Jackson and the Olympians, is that right? It's the last one, so the last Olympian. Percy and Annabeth like underwater kiss, because I remember that was like one of the first like big series kisses I was really invested in, and I remember just thinking that was amazing that it happened, and I really liked how it happened. The next one that I think of is for Carry On by Rainbow Rowell. Baz and Simon, when they finally kiss in that kind of like fire scene. It's a fairly famous chapter. But it was one of those books I remember having to like put the book down and be like, oh my god, it's finally happened. I think the first like major kiss I ever reacted to and was like, oh my god, was for Harry Potter Half-Blood Prince, was Harry and Ginny, in like when Ginny runs at him when they've just won the Quidditch Cup, or a like particular Quidditch match, and I remember being like, oh, because unpopular opinion, I really like Harry and Ginny, and I remember it being like this huge like, oh my god, I can't believe it's finally happened, like this entire book I've been waiting for this, I can't believe this has happened. And I just remember it being this like huge deal to my 11-year-old, 12-year-old brain, and I do still really like that scene, and I love the bit where like Harry looks at Ron like, holy shit, is this fine? And he's like, well, like he says, like Ron gives him a look that's like, well, if you have to, I guess. And that just always makes me giggle. Also really like the kiss between Harry and Ginny in Deathly Hallows, where she like pulls him into the room, because obviously they've kind of like broken up by that point. And I love in the film when they kiss before Bill and Fleur's wedding. Oh, I've got so much lipstick on my teeth. When they kiss before Bill and Fleur's wedding, when like Harry zips up her dress and is it George or Fred? I think it's George. Walks in and goes, morning. It just makes me giggle every time. So yeah, my makeup is all done, but I'm not finished talking to you about kiss scenes, so you'll just have to stay with me for a second while I fix my hair. The kisses I love are probably any from the Lunar Chronicles, but particularly like my favourite couple from that series is not Captain Thorne and Cress. That's just not. I don't understand why that's everyone's like OTP from that series. My favourite is Scarlet and Wolf, so any kisses from them I like absolutely adore. And I also love Cinder and Kai as well. The kiss at the end of Ari and Dante, Aristotle and Dante discover the secrets of the universe, between, you know, Ari and Dante. I loved that the first time I read it. It properly was one of those ones that made me go, like, I can't believe this is happening. Finally, because you do like wait the entire book. And obviously the one in the middle where Dante's like, well, how do you know you don't like kissing boys? If you've never tried it, you should like kiss me. Because that's kind of a sweet one. But the one at the end of the book is obviously the big like payoff kind of kiss. Oh, and Kel and Lila, I'd say Lila, but I pronounce names wrong, so it's probably Lila, knowing my luck. But in the Dark Shade of Magic trilogy, so Kel and Lila Bard, who I love with my entire being, they are great, and I remember just loving any sort of romantic interaction between them and any sort of like hint at feelings between them. Thank you for watching this video. As I said, I am nowhere near being a makeup artist or even just any good at makeup, so please don't take anything I did in this video as a tip. If you did happen to like this video, then click the like button, because that kind of makes sense. If you would like to see more of my lovely face, which sometimes looks like this, sometimes does not look like this, then do subscribe, and yeah, I will hopefully talk to you very soon. Bye!